March, I read a lot of books, but most of them were assigned for my university courses and weren't necessarily stuff that I chose to read on my own without prompting of grades and such. So yeah, the 3 books that I have chosen to share with you that I read in March are Ithaca by Susan Fish, The Vinyl Cafe Story Exchange by Stuart McLean, and Mouse by Art Spiegelman. So I'm going to start with the book that I read for fun this March, and I read Stuart McLean's Vinyl Cafe Story Exchange. And the reason why I really loved this book is because it's just little stories from all over, mostly Canada, and stories that have been sent in. And I really loved it because it's not something that you have to sit down and really be committed to. And since I am in university, I find myself reading a lot of textbooks and books that aren't necessarily for fun. And so it's a little bit harder for me to find time to sit down and read a book for fun if it's really long. But this is really good because they're really short stories, but they're funny, and they're from all over, like Canada, and some I think are from the United States, but mostly from Canada because Stuart McLean is a Canadian author and he performs on CBC a lot. He performs his stories and they are so funny. But yeah, I definitely recommend it. I got this for $5 at my local used bookstore, but if you wanted to buy it for the normal price, it would probably be closer to like $30. But I got it cheap. The next book that I read, and this one I read for my women's studies class, and this one is called Ithaca, and it's by Susan Fish. She's actually an author in Waterloo, which is where I go to university. So we got to meet her, and she signed my book. Beautiful, nice. Now, this book I didn't really enjoy very much. I think that my professor assigned it simply because she's friends with the author. It is relevant to the course. It's about fracking, and it's about a widow who doesn't know what to do with her life, and her name is Daisy. And so she decides to take a course where her husband used to teach, and she really gets into the whole fracking issue. And the characters were okay. The plot was okay. Very slow, not very exciting at all, but okay. The real problem I had was with the actual writing. There were several different, like, blatant grammatical and like spelling errors and problems with like sentences, such as this. I like too watching people meet who would never meet otherwise, even in a small city the size of ours. Like, it was sentences that just didn't make sense, that like had like a word in it that wasn't supposed to be in it, or was missing a word that should have been in it. It gets confusing, and it definitely needed a better editor. But besides that, I enjoyed it so-so. And it was okay. But if I was rating this on Goodreads, which I probably will, I would only give it 2 stars because books should be edited well. Just as a general thing, like if you publish a book, it shouldn't have mistakes in it. At least in my opinion. And finally, Mouse by Art Spiegelman, and I absolutely love this book. This is the first graphic novel that I've ever read, and I read this in English class. And we talked a lot about form and content and stuff like that, but I just really enjoyed the way it was written and how they portrayed the Nazis as cats and the Jewish people as mice, because it's just something that is so easily understandable, and it was really good. Like, I would definitely recommend it. So that is all, and this is my first sort of book review thing, so I hope you enjoyed it, and leave some comments below.